हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा वृंदावन विहारी राधा वृंदावन विहारी राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन ललिता देवी राधा मदन मोहन ललिता देवी। जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन। जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद। जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। कलयुग पावन श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So we are reading this morning from Canto 6, chapter number 18, chapter entitled Diti vows to kill Indra, text number 29 and 30. एवं स्त्रिया जडीभूतो विद्वान् अपि मनोज्ञया बादम् इति आह विवशो न तच्चित्रं हि योषिति. एवं स्त्रिया जडीभूतो विद्वान् अपि मनोज्ञया बादम् इति आह विवशो न तच्चित्रं हि योषिति. एवं स्त्रिया जडीभूतो विद्वान् अपि मनोज्ञया बादम् इति आह विवशो न तच्चित्रं हि योषिति. एवं स्त्रिया Mataji's एवं स्त्रिया. Word to word meaning. Evam, thus, Striya, by the woman. Jadi Bhutaha, enchanted. Vidwan, very learned. Api, although. Manogyaya, very expert. Badham, yes. Iti, thus. Aha, said. Vivashaha, under her control. Na, not. Tad, that. Chitram, astonishing. He, indeed. Yoshiti, in the matter of woman. Translation. Although Kashyap Muni was a learned scholar, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior, which brought him under her control. Therefore, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. Such a not at all astonishing. Since this is not any purport, we'll read the 30th text. विलोकयैकान्तभूतानि आदौ प्रजापति स्त्रियं चक्रे स्वदेहार्दं Yaya Pumsa Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. In the beginning of the creation, Lord Brahma, the father of living entities of the universe, saw that all living entities were unattached. To increase population, he then created woman from the better half of the man's body, for woman's behavior carries away a man's mind. Purport. The entire universe is going on under the spell of sexual attachment, which was created by Lord Brahma to increase the population of the entire universe, not only in human society, but also in other species. As stated by Rishabhadev in the fifth canto, Pumsa Striya Mithuni Bhava Metam. The entire world is going on under the spell of sexual attraction and desire between man and woman. When man and woman unite, the hard knot of this attraction becomes increasingly tight, and thus a man is implicated in the materialistic way of life. This is the illusion of the material world. This illusion acted upon Kashyapa Muni. Although he was very learned and advanced in spiritual knowledge, as stated in the Manu Samhita 2.215 and Srimad Bhagavatam 9.19.17, Matra Swashra Dhuitara Va न विविक्ता सनो भवेत बलवान इंद्रिय ग्रामो विद्वांशम अपि कर्षति. A man should not associate with a woman in a solitary place, not even with his mother, sister, or daughter. For the senses are so strong that they lead astray even a person advanced in knowledge. When a man remains in a solitary place with a woman, his sexual desires undoubtedly increase. Therefore, the words ekanta bhutani, which are used here, indicate that to avoid sexual desires, one should avoid the company of woman as far as possible. Sexual desire is so powerful that one is saturated with it if he stays in a solitary place with any woman, even with his mother, sister, or daughter. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we are reading this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are seeing in this chapter that Kashyapa Rishi, who is married to the 13 daughters of King Daksha, they are all like sisters, and amongst them this Aditi and Diti, the two sisters. So here it is explained that Parikshit Maharaj is asking question to Shukdev Goswami when he is hearing that how the sons of Diti, the 49 Marus, generally the sons of Aditis, they are the Adityas, the demigods, and the sons of Ditis, they are known as the Daityas. But here it is explained how the sons of Ditis, they became into Maruts, the demigods. So Parikshit Maharaj is wondering that how was this possible that Indra interfered and the sons of Diti became demigods. So he wanted to know. So therefore, this episode of how this happened is been explained that when Diti came to know that his sister Aditi, she is having, it is explained that how all the sisters have progeny except her. So she became very much bad in her heart that all the sisters bad, and kind of there is also envy that when everyone is having something and you are the only one you are not having. And also it is explained for a married couple, especially putram hinam graham shunyam, if the married couple does not have child, then it's like altogether not a good thing altogether. So therefore Diti is becoming very much impatient, and Diti also has that revengeful attitude towards Indra. Why? Because Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna took the side of Indra and he killed the both children's, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So therefore here Diti is having this revengeful attitude that because of Indra, my both sons were killed. So I have to take revenge from Indra. So therefore she wanted a son who can kill Indra. So therefore she is approaching the husband here, Kashyapa Muni. And in these verses it is explained how Diti is trying to serve Kashyapa Muni very humbly so that Kashyapa Muni becomes pleased, and when he'll ask for any benediction you want, she knows that her husband Kashyapa Muni is a very powerful yogi, so he has a lot of powers, so he can fulfill the desire. So she will ask that, please give me a son who can kill Indra. So that's how, that is her request. So with that desire in mind to kill Indra, she is rendering service to the husband Kashyapa Muni. And here in today's two verses, it is explained how although Kashyapa Muni was a great scholar, he was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior, which brought him under full control. Thus, he assured his wife that he would fulfill her desires. So, he promised Diti, because he was very much satisfied by her submissive service, and he promised that whatever you will ask, I will give. And later on, when he comes to know that Diti is asking that a son should be born of our union who will kill Indra. So at that time, he becomes very much ashamed and repentant that I did not know that she is having so much of malice in her heart. So behind that service. But then he tricks her in a way that eventually everything becomes good. But here in two verses, it is explained about how a woman has been created from the body of a man, and how Lord Brahma, the father of all living entities, when he saw the living entities were unattached, to increase population, he created woman. So in today's purport, Prabhupada is mainly speaking how in this material world, the main attraction or the main cause of bondage in this world is the attraction between men and women. So even in the third canto also we see the similar episode in the third canto, 14th chapter. These two personalities are involved. Diti and Kashyapa. Hmm? And in the third canto, it is explained how once upon a time when Diti is seeing that how all the sisters are having children and she does not have. So that time she is approaching Kashyapa Muni and telling that, my dear husband, I am very much troubled by the attack of the Cupid. All my sisters are having children. So it is your responsibility that you also please give me a son, which will help me. So Prabhupada in the purport is writing how in one of the purport, Prabhupada is quoting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and is telling how there are 10 effects of Cupid, of how the first effect of Cupid is Chakshu Ragaha. So there is first attraction that is born through the eyes. So when a male and female both look at each other, so Cupid shoots the arrow through the eyebrows. So that's how it is explained that how if one has to protect himself from the arrow of Cupid, then one has to meditate on the beautiful eyebrows of the Supreme Lord. That's how Bhagavatam also tells that Sammo Nahaya Rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Bru Mandalam Munikrite Makaradvajasya. That Supreme Lord has made these eyebrows so that the devotees can meditate on the eyebrows, which will help them to overcome the effect of Cupid. So the first effect of the Cupid that is explained is Chakshu Ragaha, that is attraction through the eyes. Second is Chitta Sangha, then there is attachment in the mind. That is the second stage. So when a man looks at a woman or the other way around, the woman looks at a man through the eyes, then there is intense attachment in the mind. Then the third effect is sankalpaha, means there is intense determination to possess the opposite sex. For a man, it is woman. For a woman, it is man. That I need to possess. Then the fourth stage, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining that Nidra Cheda, or there is loss of sleep when there is a mutual attraction. When one cannot sleep because he is constantly thinking of the opposite sex to possess. Then the fifth stage is Tanutaha, that is becoming emaciated. One becomes totally weak because of giving up eating till the time that desire is there to possess the opposite sex. So physically he becomes very much weak. Then the second effect is Vishaya Nivriti. He becomes very much disinterested in other things. That is not due to, like a pure devotee is also disinterested in other things. So this is not that degree of detachment. When it is explained that disinterested in other things, because he wants to enjoy the opposite sex, therefore he becomes disinterested from all other things except the opposite sex which he wants to enjoy. Then the seventh effect is Trapa Nasha. That person becomes totally shameless to whatever extent he can go to enjoy the opposite sex. Then eighth effect is Unmada, that is madness. Then ninth is Murchaha, he becomes totally stunned, and it concludes with Mrityu, means the person dies. So that's how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the 10th canto, when the gopis are attracted to Krishna, when he is speaking about the positive attraction towards Krishna, he is speaking also about the negative attraction that is found. Because as it is explained that love and lust, they are like Atmendriya Priti Vancha, Tarabali Kam, Krishnendriya Priti Icha, Dhare Premanam. When love is directed towards the true object, the Supreme Lord, that is pure love. It's compared to a gold. And when it is misdirected, a perversion reflection, then it is transformed into lust of this material world. So therefore, he is explaining about this 10 effects of lust in this section. So here also, when Diti is approaching her husband. She is giving different reasons in the third canto why her desire should be fulfilled. So one reason she is telling that because of lust, I am very much tormented. And the second reason she is telling that I am also very much envious because all my sisters are having children and I am not having that. And then she tells that I was attracted to you, my dear Kashyapa Muni, even before my marriage. When my father was asking whom you would like to marry, I chose you as my husband. So I married you with lot of expectations in my mind. So therefore, please fulfill my desires. So therefore, a great person, if someone is having pain in his heart and is coming seeking for help to the other person, so it is the duty of the other person to fulfill his desire. So I am coming with lot of pain and coming with lot of distress in my heart. So my dear husband, please fulfill my desires. So she is giving all the valid reasons because of which Kashyapa Rishi should fulfill the desires of Diti. Then Kashyapa Rishi, when he is hearing the reasons which Diti is giving to unite, at that time Kashyapa Rishi is glorifying his wife. How in this world a wife is allowing the husband to attain dharma, karma, artha, and kama. So when the enemy attacks, one needs shelter. So in this material world, a grasta ashram or a wife acts as a protection. Otherwise, the person driven due to lust may go out anywhere and everywhere and try to fulfill and fall further down. So because there is a wife, so he can legitimately satisfy his desires, and that way gradually by practicing devotional service he can become free eventually from this dangerous enemy of lust. So here Kashyapa Rishi is glorifying his wife, telling that like a boat which helps a person to cross from one shore of the ocean to another, in the same way a wife helps a husband to remain steadily in the married life. So therefore I am very much grateful to you. I can never repay the debt I owe to you in this lifetime. But then Kashyapa tells that although you want to unite with me, but the time, this time is not proper. Because this is the evening Sandhya time, and during this evening time, Lord Shiva is traveling with all his demoniac associates, with all the ghosts, the hobgoblins. So therefore, although the act is proper, as Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Viruddha Bhuteshu, Kamosmi Bharatarshaba, but this is not the proper time. So if we unite at the wrong time with the wrong consciousness, then that will lead to lot of disturbance. So although he is trying to convince his wife Diti, but then because Diti was totally overtaken by the effect of lust, that she forces Kashyapa Muni that please unite with me. And Kashyapa Muni, Prabhupada explains, because he is not sufficiently strong, although he was engaged in spiritual practice, but when his wife came and instructed him to unite, at that time he couldn't resist the temptations. He was also overcome by the illusory form of the Lord in the form of his wife, and he also united. And after the union happened, both of them they regret. Diti also regret, and Kashyapa Rishi also regrets. And at that time, Kashyapa Rishi tells Diti that although I had warned you that this is the wrong time of union, so therefore now whatever reactions will come, that we are responsible for that. So therefore he tells that because we united at the wrong time, so therefore Lord Shiva is very much disappointed. And now the future will be that both of your sons will become demons. So when she hears, she is very much pained at heart, and she is begging forgiveness from her husband, and she is asking that what could be the next consequence. So he tells that because you are now feeling repentant at your heart, although both of your sons will become demons, but your grandson will become the great devotee of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj. So that is the good thing that will happen, that in our family, this great devotee of the Lord, Prahlad Maharaj, will be a Mahabhagat, he will be born. So that's how here in the third canto, the same two characters, Diti and Kashyapa Muni, how Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu are born, that episode is seen in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we see throughout in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are different episodes of how even not ordinary living entities, but even great demigods like Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Agni, how all of them at different times, even they are also attracted by the woman. This form of the Supreme Lord represented by woman, as Prabhupada says. For the man, it is woman, and for the woman, it is man. So, different examples we see from the scriptures of great souls who at different times fell attracted to woman, or some woman they get attracted to man. We see the episode of Brahmaji from the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Brahmaji was running behind his own daughter, Vak episode. Hmm. There also Prabhupada explains that how dangerous is this. And then how Indra, he became attracted by the wife of Gautama Rishi, Ahilya, and he went and he united with the wife of Gautama Rishi, Ahilya. And in the ninth canto, there is episode of how King Sudyumna, when he becomes a woman, at that time his name is Ila. At that time, the son of moon god Buddha, he unites with Ila, and Buddha and Ila, they give birth to Pururava. That's how King Pururava is born. Then there is another episode in Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto wherein Soma kidnaps the wife of Tara, the wife of Brahaspati, who is Tara, and he unites. So we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam there are so many episodes of great souls who became captivated by this illusory energy of the Lord in the form of woman or woman in the form of man. So therefore, and there are many episodes also wherein after going through that, the lessons which they speak, their realizations, whether it is the case of Ajamil, after he engages with the prostitute, enjoys with her, gives birth to 10 children, and then when he gets a second chance, then he speaks about his realizations. He's condemning himself, how he had wasted so much of time in trying to enjoy with that prostitute. And in the ninth canto also, we see the episode of Maharaj Jayati. After Maharaj Jayati enjoys for a long time with Sarmishta and Devyani, and then he comes to his realization. He is also speaking his realization. And in the 11th canto, Krishna himself is speaking about the realizations of King Pururava, after he has enjoyed with Urvashi for a long time, but still is not satisfied. And in his realizations, he is speaking the Ila Gita, which Lord Krishna himself is speaking about the realizations of King Pururava. So here in the ninth canto, when Yayati Maharaj is speaking about his realizations after trying to enjoy with Sarmishta and Devyani for a long time, he is telling that Yat Prithvyam Vrihi Yavam Hiranyam Pashavastriya Na Duyanti Mana Pritim Pumsa Kama Hatasyate. So he tells that in this material world, Yat Prithvyam Vrihi Yavam. In this world, rice, barley, and food grains, Hiranyam, gold, Pashavaha, animals, Striya, woman, Na Duyanti Mana Pritim. It cannot satisfy a person. Pumsa kama hatasyate. Anyone who is afflicted by lusty desires, how much ever one gets rice, barley, food grains, gold, animals, woman, but a lusty person can never be satisfied with unlimited amounts of the sense gratification that is supplied to him. And then he tells that lust is always burning. Na jatu kama kamanam upabhoge na samyati. Havishya Krishna Varshneya Bhuya Eva Bhivartate. So here Yayati Maharaj tells that the more one tries to pour fire, the ghee in the fire, thinking that the fire will become extinguished, but the opposite happens. The more one tries to pour fire, ghee, the more the fire will increase more. So in the same way, when one tries to enjoy in this world, the more one tries to enjoy, the more the desire to enjoy will increase. It burns more and more. So therefore, Yati Maharaj tells that one should never try to pour ghee to the fire thinking that it will become extinguished, but it will, on the contrary, increase more and more. And then he tells Yati Maharaj that desires don't die even at old age. Someone may think that I have become old, so whether this lust will stop troubling me at old age. huh? That story is there about Akbar and Birbal. So one time Akbar is asking Birbal, so when does this lust go away? So Birbal tells that at no point of time, not even till death. So Akbar tells that no, I felt that at old age it should go away. But Birbal tells no, that is not possible because this enemy is very powerful. But Akbar is not kind of agreeing with Birbal. So at that time, Birbal tells that in a suitable time, I will give answer to your question. So at that time, one of the minister or some other person, he becomes very much sick and he is lying in the hospital. So at that time, Birbal tells Akbar that you also come, but you also bring along with you your young daughter. So Akbar is kind of wondering why is Birbal telling to bring my daughter along with him in the hospital to see a old man who's about to die. But Akbar always has faith that there is some wisdom always hiding whenever Birbal tells me to do something. So Akbar also carries along with the young daughter at that time when Birbal and the king, along with the daughter, they go. So the person who is old, who is about to die, so at that time Birbal introduces that this is the emperor Akbar who has come to meet you. But that old man has no movements, practically in coma, is not responding. But after some time, then Birbal tells, this is the young daughter of Akbar who has come to meet you. So as soon as that he heard the name of the daughter and he heard some voice of the feminine gender, immediately there were some movements that was seen in that old man. And Birbal told Akbar, you yourself watch. The other day I told you, and you can see when you try to respond, that old person was not responding. But when your beautiful daughter, her voice went, and when her face was standing in front, immediately there is some response. So therefore I told that even during old age, one's lusty desires are not mitigated. So therefore here, Yati Maharaj, although he has enjoyed with Urvasha, Sarmishta and Devyani for practically hundreds of years, so he is speaking his realization. Ya dustyaja durmatibhir jiriyato vana jiriyate. So he tells that Ya dustaja durmatibhir jiriyato vana jiriyate. Although the person becomes very old, jiriyato, but lust never becomes old. Jiriyato vana jiriyate. Tam trishnam dukha nivahan sharma kamo drutam tyajet. So therefore, anyone who wants happiness, he has to give up the material desires, which is the source of all kinds of miseries. And then also this verse, Yati Maharaj is speaking, Matra swasra duitra va na viviktam sho bhavet balavan indriya gramam vidvam shapi karshati. That even if a person is sitting with one's mother, sister or daughter, one should not sit on the same seat because the senses are so strong that vidvam sapi karshati. So even a man of intelligence, he also will become agitated. So therefore, many verses which Yayati Maharaj here in the ninth canto, after trying to enjoy with Devyani and Sarmishta, they share their realizations and teach us. And even from the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam through Aila Gita also, King Purava shares his realization in trying to enjoy with Urvashi for a long time, and how eventually it is not satisfying. So therefore, Prabhupada in the purport in to the this section of Diti and Kashyapa, he tells that lust can never be overcome on our own. It is only possible to overcome lust when one engages in practicing devotional service of the Supreme Lord. And he gives the example of Haridas Thakur, how Haridas Thakur was being allured by the prostitute and also by Maya herself. But Haridas Thakur, because he was engaged in performing devotional service to the Supreme Lord, so therefore he could not be affected by the illusory energy of the Lord. So, other than practicing devotional service of the Lord, there is no other way that one can overcome the influence of the illusory of the Lord. So, therefore, in the first canto also we see when Vyasadeva is meditating, at that time he sees the Supreme Lord, and along with the Supreme Lord, he sees Maya. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranaite amale apashyat purusham purnam mayam chadada pashrayam. So Vyasdev, when he is meditating on the banks of river Saraswati, he sees the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord is being there by Maya is also there, sitting there. And what does Maya do? Yaya sammohito jivo. She is trying to influence the entire world. Yaya sammohito jivo atmanam trigunatmakam paroti kurute anartam tatkritam chapi padyate. So Maya is trying to influence the living entities through her different ways, and the living entities is trying to overcome the influence of illusory energy, but it is very difficult. So therefore, Vyasdev becomes very much compassionate when he is seeing that the living entities are being influenced by the illusory energy Maya. So therefore, out of compassion, he gives the Srimad Bhagavatam, because anyone who takes shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam through the transcendental sound vibration, he can get rid of the influence of the illusory energy of the Lord. That verse comes that Shoka Moha Bhayapaha Yasyam Vai Shruya Manayam Krishne Parama Purushe Bhakti Rutpadyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. So anyone who gives transcendental oral reception to the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyam Vai Shruya Manayam Krishne Parama Purushe. So devotion, Bhakti Rutpadyate Pumsaha. Devotion is sprout in the heart, and one's shoka, one's moha, and one's bhaya, one's illusion, fear, and lamentation is overcome by taking shelter of the sound vibration of the Lord. So in this material world, every living entity is being influenced by the illusion of the Lord. Here in this section, we see about how the episode of Kashyapa, he is being influenced by Diti, and because of which he engages in the third canto, he is engaging, and later on he also regrets, and there are so many other episodes. But then, when one takes shelter of the spiritual sound vibration of the Lord, like Prabhupada explains about Haridas Thakur, personally, Maya also, she comes and she tells when she is trying to allure Haridas Thakur, and when she is unable to allure Haridas Thakur, Maya Devi personally tells that in this entire 14 worlds, even Brahma and Shiva, I am able to overcome, except you, no one can get escape from my grip. So she tells that Chaitanya avatare vahe premamrita vanya sabajiva prema bhase prithvir haila dhanya evanyena bhase se jiva chara koti kalpa tabhutare nahika nistara. So she tells Haridas Thakur that this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is flowing like an unlimited ocean of nectar. So any living entity who takes shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they can be protected. Anyone who does not take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, such a person cannot be delivered even for millions of kalpas. So she tells that before I got initiated in Ramanam, but in your association, my dear Haridas Thakur, I want to get initiated in the holy names of Krishna. So please give me initiation by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Maya dasi prema mage ithe ki vismay sadhu kripa nama vina prema na janmay. So the whole world is attracted by the illusion of the Lord. But here, because of engaging in devotional service, here Maya Devi herself is wanting to become the maid servant of Haridas Thakur. So therefore, it is Kaviraj Goswami explains that Maya Dasi Prema Maghe Itte Ki Vismay. So Maya Devi herself is asking for love of God. She is begging Haridas Thakur to give love of God. So therefore, Sadhu Kripa and Nama Vina. Without serving the pure devotees of the Lord and without rendering service to the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, how can love of God appear in the heart? So therefore, here personally we see, as Prabhupada explains, that everyone in this material world is overpowered by the illusory energy of the Lord. But anyone who engages in the process of bhakti yoga, especially by hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord, they can overcome the influence of the illusory names of the Lord. So therefore, in this section, we see how, as in today's two verses is explained, about how the Supreme Lord, He created woman from the man's body, and how by the association of a woman, the man becomes totally infatuated and he engages in all kinds of abominable activities. So, and then further, we'll see how Kashyapa Muni engaged Diti in performing this Pumsavan ritualistic ceremony by which the Diti's heart becomes purified, and the envy which she has towards Indra, that also gets purified by engaging in the Vaishnava Vrata, which Kashyapa Muni engages in him. So that's how, by engaging in devotional service of the Lord, the envy which Diti had for Indra, which Indra had come to kill, both gets mitigated towards the end. So that's how we discuss today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there are 3 minutes. If there are any comments or questions, we can take.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as you told, in case of Yayati Maharaj and Pururava, same situation happens with me also. Like we have unlimited desires, and in their example, we see when at the end of life or so, they come to realize कि अरे we wasted our life. So similar thing, if it happens with me or us grahasthas, so how to means because constant contact is there as per this verse and philosophy goes ki we should have minimal contact or we should actually get rid of this sex desire apparently. But in day to day life it seems ki we are always in constant touch with women's, like either in family life, in working place, even while traveling and all. So practically how to get rid of this thing, and and heart wise or our consciousness wise, it is not it has not gone, means I'm not expecting ki like pure devotee ki there should not be any desire or so, but at least practically how to day to day tackle this desire and go ahead without getting affected.
Hmm. So it is easy to speak, but theoretically, at least whatever I hear, I can speak. But practically, even I also struggle with this desire. So it is not easy to overcome this influence of illusory form. But then theoretically, what we hear is like Bhagavad Gita also, dhyayato. Everything begins with when one contemplates on the objects of the senses. Sangaste shupajayate, sanjat sanjayate, kama kama krodho vijayate. So everything begins with seeing and the contemplation. That's how it begins. Therefore, for sadhakas, for especially devotees, we have been given this process of sadhana bhakti. Like I remember Garam Prabhu was once telling that there are only two things which rule this world: sound or sex. So if one is not sufficiently absorbed by sound vibration, automatically the second force which is running this world is sex. So there are only two possibilities. So if one has to overcome the influence of the illusory energy, especially sex, then one has to be sufficiently absorbed in sound vibration. So therefore, the process of devotional service, what Prabhupada has given, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord and Srimad Bhagavatam, the deities. So mainly the sound vibration for the eyes, like Amrish Maharaj engaging all his senses in the process of Krishna consciousness. So therefore, if one is not sufficiently absorbed in sound vibration, then at any point of time one will get captivated by the form of woman through Maya, whatever. So therefore, there is no third option. So I remember this point which Garam Prabhu had made during our VTA, that sound or sex. So therefore, one has to be sufficiently haunted by sound vibration. Yes, Mataji.
I just remembered one incident on this question. This same question was asked once to Gurudev, and Gurudev said one thing is chanting the holy name sincerely, and then he told this person, go and worship deities every day. If the more that you worship, your desire for sex goes away. It's just a thought. I just said, let me tell. And
Thank
he
you.
really tried. This man was really suffering and he was openly asking. And he really tried. He started going to Gopinath every day for deity worship. And that's how he overcome the whole thing.
So deity worship and chanting of the holy names.
Hare Krishna, Hare Madhav Prabhu, for just one, just a thought. I know you said about old age, the desire is there, but actually, as you become
Yeah,
old,
Yayati Maharaj realized
yeah,
it.
yeah, I know.
I have no.
No, no, no,
Uh,
but I'm hearing through you.
uh,
Then I just, because we are running the school here, so some experiences. Old age, the senses are becoming also weak, but the desires are there. That's what, of course, it just doesn't go. But I'm seeing another side. Again, in children, the senses are not developed so well.
mm,
But the desires are coming early now than what it was maybe some 40, 30 years when I was in school and all.
mm.
So is it what influence is it? Kali Yuga, or is it what they are exposed to? But we see this also happening very much. This is
Yeah,
just an observation for your comment.
yeah. I feel mainly like exposure. One is the samskaras which they are coming up with, and then the different kinds of previously during at least our time, the smartphone and internet, all those exposures were very less. Now because the exposures are more, so very easily it's all there here, so
Yeah.
the danger is increasing more and more. So that's what I can think.
So physiologically, it should not, one sense, because sex is meant for procreation. So there is no question about procreation at certain age, right? The woman also, she is not eligible for that procreation. Children also are not eligible.
Mm.
But the desires are arising early, so it is a contradiction to what the biologically, the way the creation is, one sense.
Yeah,
Because
so many.
so the desires are coming up,
Mhm.
especially I'm talking about young age.
Yeah, all because of exposure, bro. That's
Hare
what I can
Krishna.
think. Yeah.
Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Prabhuji, in the translation, it mentions the artificial behavior of Diti.
Mm.
So, w- do women have mostly artificial behaviors when they are serving other,
When they are serving.
like their husbands or?
Mm. Ah? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it is not like that. That women have artificial behavior. Huh?
So it
Yeah.
in the translation,
In
in the
today's
translation,
translation, it is explained that Kashyapa was captivated by Diti's artificial behavior. So when women serve husband, is it always that they serve with artificial behavior? No, it is not like that. We are seeing so many examples of women from scriptures and also practically who serve with full heart and soul. Like third canto speaks about Devavati's service to her husband Kapila Dev, and the series of verses if we read how Devavati is serving with full heart and soul. So it is not that.
but
Uh,
they are very rare, right?
no, it is not like that. Mm. It depends upon case to case basis. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्रील प्रभुपाद की